Hey guys, HDV here and welcome to a brand new video. Today we've got some pretty big things to go over. New Nintendo announcements have dropped as well as some new Nintendo Switch 2 updates. We have some returning leaked character reveals for Legends EA, and as well as that, some new Pokemon Champions rumors to go over as well. There's a lot of things to break down today, so if you're excited for the video, drop a like down below, leave a comment, subscribe if you're brand new, and let's get into the video. So, starting things off, let's go over the big Nintendo announcement, and that it is returning to Gamescom this year. This is quite big news because obviously the Nintendo Switch 2 drops in like 15 days, and this takes place in the summer. So we are going to need some new Nintendo Switch 2 announcements, and this could be a good place to do that. Anyway, though, we've got Game Rant here tweeting out saying, after missing last year's show, Nintendo confirms it will appear at the annual Gamescom video game trade fair in Germany later this summer. So they say Nintendo has confirmed it will return to the annual Gamescom video game trade fair in Germany after missing the 2024 show. Although Nintendo did not state what projects it would show at Gamescom 2025, the gaming giant said it would be on the Colin Mess show floor during the main part of the event. Definitely butchered that name, I do apologize. Held annually in August since its foundation in 2009, Gamescom is Europe's largest gaming trade show. In the wake of the pandemic, Gamescom has since succeeded E3 as the largest expo of its kind in the West. The event is held at the Cologne Trade Fair grounds, located on the banks of the Rhine. Due to its outstanding growth, Gamescom has grown to incorporate two other shows, including the upcoming Gamescom Asia in Thailand and the recently held Gamescom LATAM in Brazil. Gamescom Opening Night Live's 2024 broadcast was headlined by titles such as Borderlands 4 and The Mafia: The Old Country. So although a precise list of game developers that will attend Gamescom 2025 remains elusive, Nintendo has already stated its intent to attend the annual trade show. On Nintendo's German language social media feeds and corroborated by My Nintendo News, the company confirmed that it will attend Gamescom 2025 from the 20th of August to the 24th. After missing last year's show, Nintendo asked fans to mark their calendars in red and said it looked forward to welcoming fans to Cologne for the annual gaming trade show. So, however, Nintendo did not state what it would show at Gamescom 2025 as of this writing. Given that Gamescom 2025 will happen in the latter half of August, Nintendo's appearance will take place 2 months after the Switch 2 console hits store shelves on the 5th of June. A few Switch 2 games, such as Mario Kart World and Donkey Kong Bonanza, will likely make appearances on the showroom floor for Gamescom attendees to try out. It is worth noting that two of Nintendo's biggest 2025 first-party releases, being Metroid Prime 4, Beyond, and Pokémon Legends EA, do not currently have precise release dates. Whether these two titles will have more information revealed during Gamescom Opening Night Live or June's Summer Game Fest remains to be seen. Both the Summer Game Fest and Gamescom Opening Night Live broadcasts are hosted by Jeff Keighley. And then it says, with over 335,000 attendees at last year's show, plans to continue expanding the Gamescom brand across the globe, yada yada yada. So we could even get some Pokemon news at this event as well, because it is one of the big kind of games coming out for the Nintendo Switch 1 and the Nintendo Switch 2 this year. We don't have a release date for it yet. We should hopefully have one by the time this is happening, because that will be like a few months before the game comes out. So if we don't have a release date by then, it's just absolutely terrible. But either way, something to take note of and something to look forward to, in my opinion. But yeah. But anyway, Nintendo will be at Gamescom this year. We also have Stealth talking about this as well, saying by this point, the following Nintendo Switch 2 games will be released. So Mario Kart World, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Breath of the Wild Switch 2, Tears of the Kingdom Switch 2, Super Mario Party Jamboree Switch 2, Kirby and the Forgotten Land Switch 2. It's definitely going to be time to reveal more of the Switch 2 roadmap. And then agreed, I think a remake of Star Fox Zero is likely, but beyond that, I speculate it's time or nearly time for, new Pikmin, new features and release date of Prime 4, Kirby Air Riders, Splatoon 4, new IP, new AAA, and then we'll likely have a direct in July like usual, focusing on what is coming in the latter half of this year. So I think this Gamescom is definitely something to get excited for, because we're going to get, you'd like to think, some Nintendo Switch 2 stuff there. But anyway, that's all the Gamescom stuff for Nintendo. Moving on, we have some new returning character leak updates to quickly go over for Pokemon Legends EA. Of course, if you don't want any story spoilers, then move on from this part of the video. It's not anything crazy, it's just one returning character that has been leaked since the last time we kind of covered these returning characters. But that's your warning. If you don't want to see it, skip this part of the video, but if you do, then this is it. So obviously we do know that the gym leaders are not returning in Pokemon Legends here. We've already covered that, but somebody that is going to be returning though is Diantha in Pokemon Legends ZA. Interesting why the gym leaders aren't returning, but the champion is, but I'm quite excited to see how much of a role she plays in the story. Is she still going to be the champion? Obviously, we're not going to be playing against the Elite Four in this game and the champion because we're just stuck in Lumiose City. But maybe she comes back to the city and challenges us anyway. Maybe she hears about how strong we are or whatever and she wants to test us. She obviously has Mega Gardevoir, so that's already a thing. I don't know. I like the idea that there are going to be returning characters in this game. We already know that Sycamore's going to return. Obviously, we've had AZ. We know Lysander's going to return, stuff like that. Again, all story spoilers. But the fact that Diantha's going to be back as well, it's going to be interesting how she is incorporated into the story. She might even just be one of the rank up battles as well. She could just be like, I don't know, rank D or something like that for Diantha, and you've got Battler, and that's how you rank up from D to C. Or she could just be some random character in the game. You don't even battle her. She could just be there in the background. But the fact that, you know, she is the champion, I feel like she would have some sort of major, not major role to play, but I think she'd be in and around the story. Maybe she has a quest for us. Maybe she gives us a Pokemon. Maybe she gives us the Gardevoir, right, for Mega Gardevoir. It's hard to really say at this point, but it's going to be interesting, you know, how she is put into the story. But that's just a quick Legends EA leak to go over. Moving on, we have some new Nintendo Switch 2 updates as well to take a look at. We have this post from Go Nintendo tweet saying, analyst calls 2025 the year of Nintendo following GTA 6 delay. So it's just a quick one here saying, just a few days back, everyone thought Grand Theft Auto 6 was set to launch sometime in fall 2025. That was the messaging from Rockstar anyway, but that it all changed last week with the announcement of a delay to 26th of May 2025. With that huge game shifted to next year, even more eyes have been freed up to look at Nintendo. Millions upon millions of gamers were already eyeing up Switch 2, but with the delay of GTA 6, you could argue that the launch of Nintendo's hardware is the last big thing slated for gaming this year. That's clearly how one analyst is feeling, as Dr. Serkan Toto, CEO of Japan game industry consultancy Kantan Games, shared the following statement with Games Radar, saying, now Nintendo has half a year to prepare and market a potentially big holiday lineup. Sony can release Ghost of Yotai in peace, and Microsoft has more room to possibly release its Xbox handheld. However, the double whammy that was supposed to revitalize the game industry overall is now called off. 2025 will clearly be the year of Nintendo now. So yeah, just a little update there regarding that. And then we also have this update for the Nintendo Switch 2 as well, saying one of the highest rated new video game releases of 2024 could be making its way to the Nintendo Switch 2. So we have another game that potentially coming to the Nintendo Switch 2, and it has been teased that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth could potentially come to the Nintendo Switch 2. The Nintendo Switch 2 is less than a month away from releasing at the time of this writing, and hype for Nintendo next generation handheld/home console hybrid is high. Many fans are impressed by the Switch 2's upgraded hardware compared to the original Switch, but it's the console's lineup of games that really has people buzzing. In the first year of its life, the Switch 2 will be home to high-profile exclusive games like Mario Kart World, Donkey Kong Bonanza, and Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment, with enhanced versions of new Switch 1 games also landing on the platform like Metroid Prime 4, Beyond, and Pokémon Legends ZA. The Switch 2 will also see quite a few noteworthy third-party releases, including Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade. And then it says, Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade Switch 2 port was recently discussed in a creator's voice video. As pointed out by Nintendo Live, Square Enix's Naoki Hamaguchi refers to the Final Fantasy VII Remake series on more than one occasion during the video. This wording suggests that not only the Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade coming to the Nintendo Switch 2, but there's a good chance that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth will follow in its footsteps. With an impressive 92 overall rating, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth was one of 2024's highest rated games, and so it would make a great addition to the Nintendo Switch 2 library. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is the second installment of Final Fantasy VII Remake series, yada yada. Basically, the whole point of this article is that Rebirth should be coming to the Nintendo Switch 2 as well. We already know that Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 1 is coming, that's already been confirmed multiple times, but having Rebirth also coming to the Switch 2 as well is another massive kind of plus for Nintendo. But anyway, just a couple more Nintendo Switch 2 updates to go over there for you. Finishing things off for today's video though, we have a pretty lengthy rumor to go over about Pokemon Champions. This was posted on the 17th of May. It's just titled Champions, posted by Anonymous, of course, because it was on 4chan. Take it with a big old grain of salt. But anyway, they say 350 Pokemon estimated at launch, more to be added each new season. 350 isn't a lot for a massive competitive game. Like, this whole purpose of this game is to be a competitive hub, and only having 350 Pokemon is not very high. You know, that's less than Scarlet and Violet's Pokedex, like before the DLC. And Scarlet and Violet isn't a well, I mean, you obviously can do competitive on it, but for a game's purpose to just be competitive, it's just weird that there isn't going to be a ton of Pokemon in it. But there will be more added each season. I assume each season is every month, so maybe you get like 50 every month or something, I don't even know. This will be a free digital download on the Switch 1 and the Switch 2 and mobile. The release date is 23rd of January 2026, so just before the Generation 10 kind of reveal in the 2026 Pokemon Presents. Pokemon Home is compatible at launch. I think that's a big one. I think that kind of has to be a thing. Ranked mode will have seasons that last 2 to 3 months with regulation rules. So 2 to 3 months. So for the first, from January to April time, we're only going to have 350 Pokemon to use. So there's going to be a meta really every single time, because there's only going to be a collection of Pokemon you can use. Both ranked and casual modes are available, plus a new Battle Frontier-like mode with various challenges/tiers. Some challenges get harder as you go. Your opponent's Pokemon will level up as you progress. That's quite interesting. Rental teams are available, but only in casual mode, not available in ranked mode. There will be special modes like level 50, level 100, and gimmick challenges. For example, a Dynamax-only challenge or type-specific challenges. I think that's definitely needed as well to kind of spice things up a little bit, having like extra challenges and stuff. One challenge will be like a Nuzlocke sort of. If a Pokemon faints, it can't be used again until you beat a certain tier. You can't heal your Pokemon until you have won 10 consecutive battles. Every 10th battle will be a gym leader or a familiar NPC. If your whole team faints before you can heal, you'll have to restart. So that's quite interesting. 10 battles is a lot without healing, unless it's just going up against like 1 or 2 Pokemon every time, because that's a lot. 10 battles without, because what happens if you get like poisoned or paralyzed or something in the first battle? You're kind of screwed. But yeah, that'll be interesting. I quite like that idea, but it's definitely gonna be shaking things up a little bit. And then it says the NPCs and gym leaders will change each time. I don't know if every single gym leader and NPC is in the game, but challenges with special rewards unavailable in the store will take place. So also rewards include clothes for your trainer, stadiums, held items, and Pokemon clothes. Pokemon clothes is quite interesting. Does that mean that every Pokemon is going to be like fully customizable as well as our trainer? You'll earn in-game currency by playing ranked, casual, or Battle Frontier matches. And then obviously you can use those to, buy the things. You'll also earn victory points, so VP, for every win. Currency and VP are different. So VP is going to be used for something completely different to currency. So VP can be spent on healing items and general held items, while currency can be spent on stadium skins, clothes, and exclusive held items. I guess for competitive, though, it'll have to be some sort of limit, like, because otherwise some people will just have everything, and then some people won't have anything until they do all these challenges and stuff, which kind of gives this game a bit of a story mode as well. Like, you have to go and do all these challenges to get enough currency to get these held items, so you can like choice band or whatever, leftovers, or stuff like that, to be able to actually give yourself a fighting chance online, unless you're just given every kind of item online when you go, who knows. You can also buy currency with real money, so that's where the monetization comes in. Obviously it's going to be monetized. There won't be a competitive battle mode in Generation 10. This will be the replacement. This is so they can make the mainline games larger, more expansive, and improve overall gameplay / graphics. That's kind of mad, I mean, it's something that is a bit of a question, because Generation 10 is coming out next year, and so is, or likely, this game as well, which is the big competitive game. Are they really going to bring out a big competitive game and then still have a lot of competitive stuff in Gen 10? Probably not. You're still going to be able to battle online and stuff in Gen 10, but I think this is the place where it's going to be. But to not have a competitive battle mode in Gen 10 is quite wild. It kind of is good for the game in the fact that they can spend more time on everything else, but it'd just be really weird. And also, when Generation 10 comes out, which is probably going to be November 2026, there's only going to be like 450 to 500 Pokemon available on this game. So that's going to be less than half the Pokemon, because when Gen 10 comes out, that's probably going to put the roster to like 1,100 odd Pokemon. And so to only have 500 on the big competitive game would be kind of ridiculous, because you'd expect the kind of seasonal update to be a lot of Gen 10 mons in this game. So a lot of Pokemon just won't be in this game for a long time. I don't know how I feel about the season being every few months, because I just don't think that's quick enough to get the Pokemon. And I think for a big competitive game, especially if you're not going to have competitive in Gen 10, you have to have a ton of Pokemon in this game, otherwise it just won't work. because there's only going to be so many Pokemon you can use, and there's just going to be a meta, and it's just going to be like, oh, well, this, like, some Pokemon only really do badly against certain Pokemon, and if they're not in the game, then obviously they just have free roam to destroy everything. So it will be interesting. I don't believe this. I don't think it's true. There are certain aspects that I do quite like, but I'm not giving this the time of day. But let me know your thoughts on this Pokemon Champions rumor. Do you think it is true or not? Would you like it to be true or not? Let me know your thoughts on that. And then also all the Switch 2 stuff as well, the game and Gamescom and Diantha returning in Pokemon Legends EA, all that stuff. Let me know your thoughts and feelings about it all. But that's everything from me. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like down below. Let's try to hit 500 likes. Leave a comment, subscribe if you're brand new, ring the notification bell for daily Pokemon content. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and until next time, peace.